Someone suggested I do a quick video of the books on my desktop, so here it is. I have a bookcase on the top of my desk because the den here is probably the smallest room in this small baby boomer generation home that I live in, and so we have to store things vertically. So on this bottom shelf, from left to right, we have the United Bible Society's 5th edition, Reader's Edition, the Journaling New Testament Inductive Edition. This is the English Standard Version. Both of these I have reviewed. This is a Christmas present I just received, the Greek New Testament. This is the Tyndale House Greek New Testament, but this is the Reader's Edition. So it, like the UBS, has lexical information for rare words, the lesser used words at the bottom of the page. This is George Ricker Berry's Interlinear Greek-English New Testament. It has the King James Version in the side column, and then the Greek with interlinear English in a larger wide column in the middle. This is also an interlinear, but it has, rather than the Textus Receptus, this is the 1550 Stevens Textus Receptus, this has the Hodges Farstead majority text in it. Here's my NKJV Journal of the Word Bible, which I've been using to make notes about textual criticism. When I come across variant readings, I often annotate them there in that Bible. And then when I do, I often like to remark whether the Douay Rheims Bible or Lamsa's Peshitta translation from the Peshitta, agree or disagree with the reading. So that's the bottom shelf. Oh, and this is my Kindle here in a little case. Now we will pan up to the next shelf. And we have some interesting books here. This is something I just ordered and received from Lulu. It's a printing of the 1881 Revised Version New Testament. It's in about an 8 or 8.5 point font. No references, but it does have the side column notes. I really do like the revised version, although it has a reputation of being somewhat clunky English. I like the fact that it keeps the old verb endings and the ye's so that it's very clear whether you're talking about a singular or a plural. Here is my, I can't remember how much it cost now, but it was less than $1, my 1949 Revised Standard Version New Testament. This is the Tyndale House Greek New Testament itself. Unlike the Reader's Edition you just saw, this has some of an apparatus at the bottom of the page showing different manuscripts that support different readings. This is Bruce Metzger's criticism, textual commentary on the Greek New Testament. This is the United Bible Society's 5th edition New Testament, which I use more often than the Nestle-Aland 28th edition here. This has fewer textual variants annotated, but it gives more information for each one. So this will show you patristic information, which this will not. The next one over is the Trinitarian Bible Societies. This is the 1894 Scrivener Textus Receptus, which I think is based on, I've forgotten, I think it might be the 1598 Bazet. This is the Robinson Pierpont Greek New Testament. This is the New Testament according to the majority text. Majority text theory is very interesting. I'm not totally convinced of the essay in the back where Maurice Robinson gives the argument for the Byzantine priority. But I think he has a problem. He has to explain why the majority text, not majority readings, but the majority text itself isn't present in the desert sands. But the critical text people really do need to come up with a plausible explanation for the rise of the majority text, and I haven't read that yet. I haven't found it. They also can't agree in terms of when the majority text rose. The older authorities like Westcott and Hort and Aland and even Philip Comfort more recently say 4th century, but more modern authorities like Dan Wallace say 9th century. This is the Hodges Farstad majority text, and then next to it I have the Westcott and Hort 1881 Greek New Testament, which Hendrickson would not give me permission to review, so you'll not be seeing that. Next over is the Bernard Taylor Analytical Lexicon to the Septuagint, and then finally is the Montz Analytical Lexicon to the Greek New Testament. I have some other books here on the desktop. This is my, move this down again, Greek English Lexicon of the New Testament. This is the Bauer, Arndt, and Gingrich. Danker's name is also associated with it. It's the 3rd edition, which I got my copy off of eBay. The more recent edition is more expensive. I think this is the 3rd edition, and I think the more recent one is the 4th edition. I'm seeing 2nd edition here inside this. I believe it's a revision of the 2nd edition. I may be wrong. Another book I'm reading is David C. Parker's New Testament manuscripts and their texts. On top of the bookcase here, I have Garnet Howard Milnes. Has the Bible Been Kept Pure? The Westminster Confession and the Faith and Providential Preservation of Scripture. We're looking at this because I'm very interested in the Textus Receptus priority position. My problem with Garnet Milnes' book is that I come to different conclusions. He presents information and then he draws one conclusion and I draw the opposite. It seems to me that the Textus Receptus position is the one that's most difficult. Also, on top of the bookcase lying flat, I have a copy of the Logos Complete Study Bible, American Standard Version. This is the best layout of the American Standard Version that I've ever seen. I really like this, and one of these days I intend to review that. And then I have my 2nd edition NET Bible, because it's a very good resource. And then the last thing on top of the little bookcase is the book that I will be reviewing this week, English Standard Version Large Print Thin Line Reference Bible. And I have it here at the desk because I need to make my measurements of dimensions and calculate line height and number of points in the line. So that's it for this brief tour of the desktop. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it, and I hope the sound quality is better than it has been in the past. Some people have commented that it sounds like my voice is too I'm speaking too close to the microphone. I have a separate microphone now that's farther away, so we'll see how this works.